Welcome to the world of Harry Smilac.
Harry Smilac, personal management, at your service.
A world of fancy cars and fabulous women.
Have you ever considered a career in modeling?
He's got everything money can buy. The trouble is, it's not his money.
Mr. Kim from the Busan Savings and Loan, the Vice President. Corrections.
Corrections?
I correct money from deadbeats like you.
He's a mover
Yeah. Hey, look at this here.
and a shaker.
I've been thinking about our relationship.
What relationship?
A wheeler
I'm Harry Smilac. Ow!
and a dealer.
So, tell me, does my man have a T-shirt or a shoe deal?
He's a legend.
Whatever it is, the answer is absolutely not. What do you want from me?
$67,811.19 to be very specific.
Then, one day, he took some punks
What do you think is the number one thing on M. Harry Smilac's mind? M. Harry Smilac.
added some hunks,
You're a dead man, Smilac!
and created rock and roll wrestling.
You don't have to thank me. It's just another Smilac service.
A comedy with muscle. Bodyslam.
Oh, hey, guys. Trust me.
Hello and welcome to the When Wrestlers Act podcast. I'm Jon Cronshaw and I'm joined today by my good friend and wrestling fan, Colin Cox. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm alright. We've just watched quite an interesting film. The let's just say the straight to bargain bin
That's a good way of putting it.
classic Bodyslam
Well-
from 1986.
On the poster, it does say it is a genuinely funny film, and I concur. Did you at any point stop laughing?
Sorry, did I stop laughing or
Yes.
start laughing?
You started. You certainly started.
There were points where I laughed. I will admit that. I don't think it was for the reasons that they wanted me to laugh. But yeah, so I mean, what was the name of the director of this? I know it was the guy who did Cannonball Run.
Yes, I didn't catch his name.
Cannonball Run 2. What was it? The Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit 2.
Smokey and the Bandit 3?
No, I don't think he was. But I did see on his internet movie database.
Hal Needham.
Yeah, I did the research. He did a lot of Smokey and the Bandit spin-off TV movies as well.
So he has form.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, with his track record of high-quality films and the assurance that this is going to be a genuinely funny film, alarm bells rang.
The gentleman's name is Hal Needham.
But yeah, so I mean, I suppose to start with, we should talk about some of the characters in this film. The main character is what would you say is a kind of music promoter, spiv, come blackguard, come wrestling management.
Clearly can't be trusted.
Yeah, he's very much established.
Always sounds like he's ducking and diving every single thing he says, even when he's being completely honest. He is the proverbial rich person who cried wolf, who
what was
no
his
one
name?
is ever going to believe a single word.
Was it Harry
Smilac.
M. Harris.
M. Harry Smilac.
Yeah.
So a good Jewish name.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, there were. I don't want to say it was anti-Semitic, but there were a lot of jokes at the Jewish expense. And, it's difficult. It's difficult to know in the context. I mean, the guy was played by
Dirk Benedict.
Yeah, who looked a bit like Michael Scott from The American Office. It was the guy who played Face in the A-Team.
And nothing else.
No, I think wasn't he in like Battlestar Galactica or something, the original one. Yeah, but so Dirk Benedict. To be honest, he is the only character in this film that develops, that has a range of outfits. Everybody else seems to wear one set of clothes throughout.
That jacket.
The blue space age material.
It was a rhapsody in polyester. With that pink tie as well.
Yeah, pink tie, blue shirt. It was. I don't know how you describe it. I mean, like, it was disturbing, but it was strangely arousing. Do you know what I mean? That kind of blue, shiny. You know, imagine that on one of the many sexy ladies that you see in this film. Yeah, gratuitously.
What's her name?
Which one? The one.
Bitsy van der Wegen, played by Danny Jansen.
No, Bitsy van der Wegen was the Hillary Clinton, basically.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Well, Bitsy van der Wegen's daughter.
Oh, Candy. Was it Candy or something like that?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think her name was
Candice.
Candice, oh, yeah.
Played by Tanya Roberts.
Yeah, so she was the tot. I mean, throughout this film, you were subjected to some amazing 80s ladies. I mean,
that swimsuit in her first scene.
Let's just get that out of your mind for a moment. Yeah, I mean, I think the opening scene establishes a lot about the film. You've got Dirk Benedict, the face from the A-Team, yeah, Michael Scott from The Office, slicked hair. Was he wearing a leather suit at that point? I can't remember. But...
At one point, he certainly does wear a suit jacket with a shirt and tie and leather trousers.
And the tie is squared off at the bottom. None of this right-angled bullshit. He's going straight for the...
He needed a piano key necktie to complete
he
it.
didn't go for that, unfortunately. But
had it been invented by then?
It was 1986, so I'm assuming that it was at the height of its powers. So the opening scene, you've got Dirk Benedict...
in his Ferrari.
His red...
Talking on his big mobile phone.
His red Ferrari, talking into what is essentially a Nintendo Entertainment System, the size of a giant lunchbox. And, you know, he's driving along the beach, and he comes across a sexy lady in a swimsuit that looks like she's got a bit of a wedgie. Yes. And he waves, smiles. She waves at him. There's a sultry, sexy look between them.
But wait, she's not waving at him at all.
It's a guy with a surfboard, and he's a loser.
He's totally bodacious.
Oh, it's just, yeah. So there's that one. And then for some reason, there's a lawyer's office, and the lawyer he's getting exercise instruction from, again...
It's after he has his Ferrari repossessed.
Is it? Yeah. Who cares about the storyline, really? I mean, I'm talking about the 80s ladies with the big hair, the big perms, and the
big
kind of
personalities,
the big swimsuits that kind of go a bit too far up the bottoms, bit too high up the thighs, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and of course, the Candice, they meet up. I mean, let me get this right. They meet up. What I think is he's pitching at basically a presidential fundraiser. Is it a senator or a president?
I think it's senatorial.
Yeah, so basically a political fundraiser. She's there in this, what can I only describe as a really quite small,
loose as well?
Loose, metallic, it was, metallic green, was it?
I don't think I've ever seen a spandex... swimsuit type thing that was that loose before.
Yeah, it was basically she'd got a swimsuit that was a bit too big for her, that was made of spandex, that was very shiny. Her boobs were falling out everywhere. She had big 80s hair, and I'll tell you what.
And she talks with that 80s high pitch but low pitch at the same time.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. If I was 20 years younger and born 20 years earlier, she would have been damn sexy. But yeah, bit of a mullet, bit of a, I don't know. I mean, you seem to have had it trapped into your retinas, which is fair enough.
I'm older than you.
Ah, well, yeah. I mean, there's those 2-3 years that have obviously give you that attraction for the 80s ladies. Yeah, you just don't get them anymore, do you? I mean, it's like what's her name? The Kelly LeBrock. Was it?
One in Weird Science.
The one in Weird Science who helped many young men through their teenage years on, I'm sure. But I mean, there was it was a lot of basically sexism in the film. Her character, Candice, what was her role? How did her character develop? She has
a character.
Exactly. She was a bit suspicious of, the Dirk Benedict character.
But when things started going on the upturn, suddenly she liked him.
Yes, she's very shallow.
Yes.
And I mean, to be honest, it's a reflection of the kind of 1980s Reaganism. You know, he could have been a stockbroker in another film quite easily. Can you imagine him?
Gordon Gekko.
Yeah, maybe like a tertiary character in I don't know, Trading Places. You know, he's Eddie Murphy's I don't know, not trading partner, but like the trading partner's mate.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Who maybe has a few lines in the film. So yeah, I mean, we kind of been a bit harsh about the Dirk Benedict character because, you know, he's in a lot of debt. I think was he Chinese, Japanese? Oh no, he was Korean. Yes, but of course
they're all the same.
They're all the same. Yes, and this isn't our racism coming out here. This
is the film.
Yes,
the classic Egg Foo Young line. He says he'll have the money to you quicker than you can say Egg Foo Young. Which the Korean person, quite rightly, is not happy about this. He points out that Egg Foo Young is Chinese and not Korean.
Yeah, but that's okay because you kind of you basically sympathise and you're on the side of the racist, which I think in 1986 that was fine. Yeah, so this Korean guy,
he had his theme gong.
He did. He had a gong that came from nowhere. So whenever he was on screen, there was a gong, so you knew he was there. And this guy, he was what, like 5 foot high. He looked like a bit of a shriveled odd job from James Bond.
But he was flanked by his 2 bodyguards.
Oh, the Wild Samoans,
the WWE Hall of Fame Wild Samoans.
Yeah, who looked, to be honest, like they were indeed Wild Samoans,
and a bit bored.
But their gimmick, their whole thing, all they seemed to do throughout the film was destroy cars. It was like the the kind of bonus stage on Street Fighter 2 where you have to beat up a car. It was like that, including the sound effects, which kind of added to its charm. I mean, throughout the kind of sound in the film was dodgy, to say the least.
It was 80s sound, though. The editing was never great in the 80s. It always sounded like people are talking. This has been dubbed right over the top, like a bad overdubbed Chinese film,
or a Tommy Wiseau film,
Tommy Wiseau film.
Yeah, you've got this bad sound editing, bad picture editing. You know, there's many scenes in the film where it just kind of cuts, like,
and then statically they start doing things as if they're waiting for the director to say "and cue."
and what it is as well, it's like, you know, to be fair to them, they do get to like the end of the scene, but it's like imagine you get to the very end of the scene, and instead of letting it breathe, instead of the camera hanging there for a second, it just cuts, and then if you're lucky, you'll get a Star Wars style kind of, you know, a swipe across with a cutting, and then you'd maybe get the exterior of a building to establish where you are in the next scene. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit random. I mean, going back to the Dirk Benedict character, you know, we keep going back to him, but he's really.
But he is the film.
He's the only character, right? You've got some big stars like Rowdy, Roddy Piper. What's his motivation? I don't get what his thing is throughout. He wants to win the tag team champions.
I think he wants more money at some point as well. Because when he is introduced into the film, he's arguing with some sort of agent.
Yeah. So you've got him. He is a wrestler. That's all you kind of get from him. You've got, what is it, Tonga Sam.
He's a bit happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, he's another wrestler. You know, they both become friends, or, you know, they kind of sign a management deal with Dirk Benedict. Overnight, they're a tag team, got better clothes. Their characters don't develop.
No,
they may as well not be there. I don't know. The antagonist of the film is Captain Lou Albano, or
Lou Marango, as he's called in the film,
or Ron Jeremy, as I thought he looked like in the film,
or a rather fat Rolf Harris with that shirt and that beard.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble with that is that they're kind of both. I think we've both picked very disturbing, especially in light of, you know, quite recent events. Some quite disturbing comparisons.
Unfortunately, they're both quite accurate.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, Lou Albano's Lou Albano. He's a
fat guy with a tied up beard and a piercing through his cheek.
But he's just a hell of an antagonist. He's there. He's bitching about the fact that Dirk Benedict has taken what seemingly the only other management job in America. Yeah, there seems to. I think the story is that Lou Albano was the only wrestling manager in the entire world, and then Dirk Benedict, for no apparent reason, but Dirk Benedict became Roddy Piper's and what was his name? Tonga Tom. Why am I thinking Tonga Sam? What's that?
I don't know. That's because it's Sam Fatu.
That's the guy. Yeah. So Tonga Tom, he becomes their manager, and no other wrestlers, it seems.
And no, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they seem to be the only other wrestlers in America apart from some fat guy.
Captain Lou wants to manage these two for whatever reason.
Yeah, against his own team.
Against his own team and against their will.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a weird dynamic, and to be honest, it kind of worries me a bit because there seems to be a lot of shady business practices going on throughout this film.
It's the 80s.
Yeah, and the bad guys. I mean, I think one of the kind of maybe the most homoerotic scenes in the film comes quite early on when Roddy Piper. What's his name? Tofu Sam or whatever he's called. Yeah, they're in the gym. They're working out. They're lifting weights. Well. And axe and hammer.
Yes.
The cannibals, they're called.
The cannibals.
Because most cannibals use axes and hammers to prepare the meat. Obviously to cut the limbs and chop it to pieces, and then to tenderise the meat afterwards with the hammer. Well,
they might be cannibals, but at the same time, they're also gourmet.
Yeah. So they seem to be based on the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom kind of face paint, big guys who just throw people round. They kind of go to the gym and have a bit of a face-off with Roddy Piper
and smile a bit too creepily.
The smile, and so they go up to Roddy Piper and Tofu Sam, and they say, "We've got something for you." They crack the neck. Pain.
That's a good line.
It wasn't, was it? Yeah, talking about good lines.
Are we getting back to?
I think we're going back to the sexism. Just
this. He gets out of his car, and this charming young lady.
Which car was it at this point? Was it the red Ferrari again, or
I don't think it was. It was a different one.
White Bentley or something.
The white thing.
Yeah.
But this rather comely lass is jogging along, and she very politely jogs past and says, "Nice car," and he lets her get out of earshot and says, "Nice ass."
Yeah. Because, you see, it's a sexist film.
How are we supposed to sympathise with this person?
Because he's humbled.
But this is post is humbling, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is this when he's in his neck brace and he's got his crutches
It's when he's put together the rock and wrestling theme.
Oh, shitting hell. So yeah.
So has he learned anything?
I don't know. Maybe back in the 80s, that was like that is how you sympathise with him. That's how you think, yeah, this guy's cool. He makes a pervy comment to a passing woman. That's fine. At least she was out of earshot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he went up to her and slapped her on the bottom and said, "Nice arse."
Yeah. So I mean, this humbling moment. He gets. They go into like a tag match, and then Captain Lou, Jeremy Harris, whatever he's called, he basically gets.
He substitutes this
Dirk Benedict,
not very good tag team
with the Cannibals.
Yeah,
the tag team that you've never even heard of or been established in the film.
Yeah,
you don't know who they are. It's not like they've had a built-up feud or anything. You don't care. You don't know.
And then it just happens, and there's a beatdown.
Yeah. So they beat the crap out of basically Roddy Piper, Tofu Sam.
Tofu Sam gets a little bit of a beating, but then for some unknown reason, he just jumps over the top rope.
Yeah, and Dirk Benedict, he gets his ass handed to him. Next scene, he's in the hospital. Oh no,
he's going to visit the other two who've been put in the hospital.
He steps out of his Ferrari, Clearly got either whiplash or a broken neck. He's got his neck brace
I
on.
think whiplash.
Yeah, neck brace.
His
crutches.
Ferrari gets repossessed again.
Yeah, he does the kind of thing of pushing a man in a wheelchair, basically to have a serious car accident just out of shot. Which, I think that's where it's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments.
Did you laugh at that?
No, but I can imagine that they thought that was funny, especially when it had the...
But that wasn't really genuinely funny, though. And if you're laughing at a man in a wheelchair who's probably been killed, if you think that's funny, I think you need to reevaluate your sense of humour.
Well, I didn't write this film. You know what I mean? You're basically criticising me when this guy wrote Cannonball Run 1, Cannonball Run 2, Smokey and the Bandit 1, Smokey and the Bandit 2,
and the various spin-offs.
Plus a load of TV, straight-to-TV spin-offs, including one that was called Bandit, Bandit. Yeah?
Why haven't we watched those?
Because there's no wrestlers in them. Why would we? That's it.
We need a bit of context.
Well, to be honest, we'll find out. I bet Kevin Nash has been in them or something
Probably.
like that. But so humbling. Yeah, he gets humbled, and he has Dirk Benedict. He has a bit of a face from the 80s.
I'm not going to be your manager anymore. I've just got you hurt. But Roddy says, "You're doing fine."
Yeah, he feels guilty. He's remorseful. He's filled with remorseful. And, so
he's doing fine.
Yeah. So he's mildly happy with
said
things.
Hot Rod with his jaw resting on this dangling thing.
Yeah, so basically he's in hospital and
they've both been completely.
They're both in
fucked
traction.
up.
Basically,
Yes.
they're both in traction, and they're going, "Oh yeah, you're doing fine." But then,
that's how likeable he is.
Yeah, but then Dirk, he has a brainwave. He has a revelation. He has.
This is when he goes back to his beachfront, not when he's in the hospital.
Is it? What is this? Oh, is this? Yeah. So he's at the beachfront, and for some reason he's going to meet the Hillary Clinton character, and then goes up in a lift, and suddenly they're on a beach.
Yeah,
and he has.
That's later on.
Am I getting confused?
He lives in a beachfront place with his jacuzzi.
Right. Okay. That was never established. You know what else was never established?
Whether or not his jacuzzi actually works.
Well,
because the Koreans kept interrupting him.
They never showed the jacuzzi. I think that might have been a running joke.
Maybe maybe jacuzzi is another word for Rohypnol.
They had the what was his name? I'm thinking he was called Sheldon. Yeah.
Yes.
Who was he? What was he?
He was the lawyer.
Was it? Oh, he was a lawyer, and he arranged. Okay, it makes sense now. He arranged the him to do the benefit stuff.
Donatello out the turtles.
Yeah, played by
I found out.
Donatello out the turtles, and looking like a Kevin Spacey at the wrong aspect ratio. So yeah, so if he was filmed in 4:3, he would have been stretched to a 16:9, and that'd be him.
Yeah,
and he'd just look a bit off. Bit weird.
Sort of like if the critic ran into a wall too fast.
Yeah. So it was. John Lovitz. That's the guy you're thinking of. He did look a bit like John Lovitz, actually, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what was? I didn't get his character really.
He was some sort of lawyer who just happened to be a sympathiser for this clearly Republican.
Yeah, so he was both a lawyer for a Republican senatorial candidate,
yes,
and a seedy, failed music promoter who was. Do you see why I'm finding it a bit weird to kind of take him on board?
Yeah,
and why is he organising the benefits?
Well, I think he sits on some sort of committee. I don't know.
Yeah, so he was the chair. That was it. He was the chairman of the entertainment committee for. It's crap. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's very. I mean, it's like Roddy Piper's what I assume to be his daughter, whose role is to
walk around being cute and be a little bit sassy.
Yeah, and she seems to be the only one who knows anything about things. But who is she?
Is there a metaphor there?
I don't know. Who is she? She wasn't established.
No.
You didn't even get her name.
I'm sure her name was mentioned at some
What, Princess? Missy? Was her name Missy? Is that a real
Could
name?
be. If you know, what about Peach's fucking Geldof?
Too soon. Yeah.
All right, Pixie Geldof.
Yeah, well, you know, by the time this goes out, that could be too soon as well. Yeah, no. Oh, right. So going back to it, he's humbled. Humbled, yeah. There's the turn in the storyline.
But he's had an idea, a revelation.
So his idea is revelation. He's gonna combine the things he loves,
rock, and wrestling.
So he's got a band called Kicks at the start of the film.
Yes, and for no reason they end up being called Kick.
Their lead singer, he had a beautiful mullet. He looked a bit like a cross between Pat Sharp
and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, the love child of those two. Some kind of genetic weirdness going on. I don't know. I mean, do you think they could breed? Do you think that's genetically possible for Shawn Michaels and Pat Sharp to breed?
I wouldn't have thought so. Shawn Michaels is a Republican born-again Christian.
So they start from the ground up. For some reason as well, Captain Lou Morano Jeremy, he owns all the arenas in the country in America.
So it seems.
It seems to be that he's got the monopoly, and nobody else can wrestle in these arenas, which kind of defeats the point of a competitive sport when you think about it. If you've got no competitors,
and that's what it very much is in this film. It is a sport.
Legitimate.
It is a legitimate sport.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going to happen.
So they're doing the kind of gimmick of going round these, there was one that was like on the night after was going to be like a pig market, this kind of redneck town, and they were like, yeah, we'll fight the whatever your town's strongest.
So they
people
combined the rock and wrestling because that particular night was double booked.
Yeah.
So he had to get more bang for his buck.
Yeah. And
that became a bit of a line.
Yeah, there was a few lines in the film. None of them very good.
No.
They've got the rock and roll band performing their song. They've got one song that they perform over and over again. It's just this dreadful hair metal song that references how great it is to be in the USA. So they're doing this. They're performing. But they're at this redneck auction mart thing, and the guy's playing organ alongside it. So it's like
old lady.
Is it an old lady?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. It just looked like some. It was humanoid.
It was an old lady.
It was humanoid anyway.
It's funny because it's an old lady.
And there was a bit of a kind of I wouldn't say a battle of the bands, but there was certainly a kind of
dueling thing.
Yeah. I don't want to say it was good because that would be too far. But
it was something.
It was certainly okay. Yeah.
Of all the things that happened in the film, that was one of them.
So the build up, the rapport, the go around, the tour, the kick, and the Rowdy Roddy Piper, and the we didn't mention that Sam Tofu and the Rowdy Roddy Piper had a match with a guy called the Fat. What was it? The Pee-wee.
The Pee-wee and the Fat Twat.
Something like Little George or something. And it was like this.
Oh, but the little one is actually huge!
Yeah, he was massive. He was like a big fat guy.
He was like giant haystacks, I would say.
Yeah, he was like, or someone like Loch Ness, or
yeah, perhaps like Loch Ness.
Yeah, one of those kind of wrestling fat people they have. So you get the this build up to the finale of the film. You get Dirk Benedict going on to not Johnny Carson, but the Vic Carson show. Yeah, he's not a good looking fella, and he's on there with the Ron Jeremy, Captain Rolf Harris fella, and Dirk Benedict he tricks the Lou Albano character into kind of making his cannibals who've had the titles for 5 years. First time it's ever established about 10 minutes from the end of the film.
Yes.
Yeah, first time. You don't even know that they're the champions throughout. They're just some guys who are there. You see them in the gym having that homoerotic kind of bit with Roddy Piper and Tofu Sam. You have the bit where they have a bit bit of a wrestling match later on. And then you've got this, they're the big bad guys, they're the Apollo Creed of the wrestling world, it seems. They get to the ending, they've tricked them into putting up the tag team titles. They have a match.
Bastards.
They have a match. And that's what it sounds like. It's like these really
Street Fighter?
bad, too loud, naff sound effects.
Street Fighter 2, I would say.
They have a match. They win the match.
They're tag team champions.
Freeze frame. Credits roll.
And that's the end of
And that's the end of the film.
Does he pay off his debt?
I don't know. That's never established.
Does Captain Lou really walk away from wrestling?
I don't know. That was never
I
established.
mean, he's quite old. He could have done with retiring anyway.
Yeah.
And what happens to the Samoans? Do they just go, not the Samoans, the Axe and Hammer, do they get a contract with WWF?
Maybe they get a rematch. I don't know.
Surely they have a rematch clause in their contract.
I mean, maybe, with the fact that the director had done Cannonball Run 1, Cannonball Run 2,
Smokey and the Bandit?
Smokey and the Bandit 2, and a series of Smokey and the Bandit spin-offs for TV, including Bandit: Bandit Bandit. Maybe he thought he was going to do Body: Body Body, or, Bodyslam 2. Yeah. I don't know. It was never established. That's my point. There are a lot of plot. Whatever happened to Candice? Whatever happened? Did the senator get his job? Did he get voted in as senator?
Did they ever call social services on the little girl who clearly wasn't ever going to school?
Yeah, and who was she? She was never named. Was she a white slave? We don't know. There's so much.
She seemed happy enough.
Yeah, but it's that thing of like when you don't know what else there is. You're kind of happy within your context. So there's just a lot of questions. I think the boast, and I will call it a boast, of Bodyslam being a genuinely funny film.
It's not quite right, is it?
I felt let down. Yeah.
I felt it a little disappointing with when you see that on the front cover of a DVD.
You know what it reminds me of, actually? You know when you get like really bad films and they do the kind of advertising campaign where they basically vox pop people outside of the cinema and force them to go, tell us how good that film is. Go, oh yeah, it was action packed. It was great.
5 stars.
5 stars. And it's like, ignore the critics. It's like it kind of reminded me of that. You know what I mean? Just yeah.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
So what happened was did they catch several people and just piece together the words, it was a genuinely funny film?
There was a ... between most of the words. No, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it was a genuinely funny film. I think it was a genuinely
bad
film. It was entertaining, kind of.
You might enjoy it if you're 11 and know nothing about wrestling.
Or films. Or people.
Or people.
Or cars. or
oh no, there's some good cars in it.
There's some good cars, but they all get rolled over. Yeah. Basically, if you don't know about things or issues like racism,
all the
sexism,
isms, every ism,
homophobicism,
midgetism.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cool to say that. Well, we'll find out. We can edit that out anyway. But yeah, so I think we've reviewed the Bodyslam. So I think all we need to say now is thanks for listening. And
shall we plug Twitter?
Yeah, we should plug the Twitter. We've got WWA Podcast. That's @ on the Twitter.
If anyone wants to watch this film, it is available on YouTube.
On YouTube for free. Nobody seems to have complained.
93 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and post that onto our Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can go fill your boots.
We've got the website, whenwrestlersact.com. We're on the Facebook, which is Facebook/WWA Podcast. And we, like that and follow the Twitter. We've got the...
Have we got MySpace?
I don't know. We should get one, just for the hell of it.
Have we got Face Party?
We've got what? Oh no, I've not seen that. So yeah, I don't know what film we're going to do next. I mean, send us your suggestions. That'd be good. You've got whenwrestlersact.com. That's the website, and just keep listening and let us know what you think. Bye-bye.
Bye.